So first thing, could you all take 5 minutes to fill this online feedback survey? Last year we we asked as an exit ticket to show us that you had filled it in exchange for your drink tickets for the Friday bar. But since I don't have the drink tickets, I think I might have to just trust you. Lunch tickets. I also don't have lunch tickets. What we would also like to know, in general, is what you've learned, what stuck with you the most through this week, and what you might take home and use in your research. So if you had some keywords of what you've learned, what you think was the main thing you learned and will use in the future. So 1 or 2 keywords.
Just constraint programming techniques, so it's
Yes. Complementary model.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Topology optimization.
Flexibility market. Okay. And one is contributing to flexibility markets. Okay.
DC OPF.
AC. One.
5 words.
Okay.
Long-term contracts. Long-term.
Water verification.
Okay. Yes. So you could also mention, I guess, some tools or some modeling framework, I guess. Are there also some application or some specific contexts in which you've learned those and think they're particularly relevant?
focus on social and practical applicability.
Yes.
Energy market optimization.
Yes. So, think about where I'm putting it. So, energy market is also kind of an application, right? Yeah, optimization, I guess. As a broader category also of tools and modeling frameworks.
Sustainability. Trustworthy.
Speculative games.
Sackable games, yes. I don't know where to put that. I think I'll put it. This is also a bit a framework for understanding games. Yeah.
Sector complement?
Sector copy, yes.
Policy design.
So where, in which context did you hear more about policy design?
Long-term contract.
Okay, yes.
Recent markets.
So, is that something you've heard about in David's talk? I still haven't seen talks on Monday and Tuesday. I'm caught up with it. Yeah.
Privacy aware applications?
I'm gonna put it here. I guess yeah, it's both like a lot of tools to preserve privacy, but also I guess relates to more like general concerns when designing or operating energy systems. So I tried to kind of group those, right? Because we have some applications, right? And some specific tools that we've learned about or modeling framework, and also some more general considerations that might be a bit also far from just the engineering objectives, but something to try to keep in mind when applying those tools or tackling those problems, and that there might be some of the broader concerns and considerations that might arise just from the problem, but also the tools that you're using. Trustworthy and could also be a bit here, like issues of trust with AI, transparency or explainability of those methods. Right, is there, I guess, was there some, yeah?
I would just add between trustworthy AI and power models, the automatic differentiation, which is an interesting concept, and physics informed neural networks.
And what else did you say?
The automatic differentiation.
I don't have too much space left. Maybe I broke it to begin with. Wondering, when you see this, I guess, how well does that match with the expectations you had sort of when you came to the summer school? Are there some things that you were hoping to learn about that maybe you didn't learn about, or some things you didn't think you would learn about and that ended up being something that you think is interesting and you use? Or that is interesting and you will not use?
Quantum.
Yeah. Be careful. Okay, but where is that? It's like, who said quantum? I see nobody.
No, I mean, I didn't say it, but like we learned yesterday that the hardware is not there yet, so we can see quantum as a, I don't know, like a measurements, like a measurement stick, kind of like for like the research right now to see, okay, when it's there, how big the quantum computer needs to be and what type of quantum computer so that I can solve my problem faster than classical. So it's not, I think like at this point we cannot just plug it in and then run anything operationally speaking, but that doesn't mean that it isn't important.
I think it gave us a good background, like you said, like it's more like, I expect in 10 years or so we'll be able to talk about it when we're talking about AI right now. So it's really good that in a few years, when hopefully we're in industry or doing research in other fields, where like we see a quantum paper and we're like, okay, we can refer back to this, we already have a good basis. Let's start somewhere instead of trying to hop on and find a crash course about quantum mechanics. So it was really good actually.
Yeah, I think I agree. I think it's very relevant actually to learn about it now because we had like machine learning and stuff like that, which is kind of already there and now being more and more used. When research was started probably like the 70s or something like that. Back then people always said like this will never happen. But I think the hardware component is like the most important part. But as soon as we learn about it, also our research kind of stays up to date. We're actually in front of the development. This is kind of where we want to be. I guess it's very relevant to learn about it as early as possible.
Yes. Yes, no, I think that's a good perspective, and I think when we had also this talk about social values and concerns, some people mentioned like, how do I apply this to my PhD because I'm for 3 years and that's not, necessarily something I have time to apply, but it's good to keep those things in mind and not, I mean, we're not just trying to give you tools that you can apply next year in your PhD, but also give you a bit more of a broader vision of what's there and what's next in research in energy systems. So if you can also get that.
I think that's important because you can pursue your research and you know what's happening next, so how can you answer other questions in the future. I think that's a really good takeaway from the summer.
And I guess also how many of you like have also, I guess, learned some things or got interested in some topic, not necessarily from the lectures, but just from talking to teachers or speakers or each other. A lot of you, yeah?
For example, the flexibility markets and how you can have a fleet of vehicles and that you can bid on the markets. I was surprised that you can, just get some consumers and then sell that. I mean, it's a new business case that I did not think about it before.
Yeah, it's really nice to hear that actually. Anybody else wants to add? Yep.
I think also the talk on the topology optimization, for the case of wildfire, but I think it can be more widely applied. Like how can we include different, make our models more robust towards stuff like outer influences and like how do we include this in the modeling process. It's pretty important also to consider not only like very isolated energy system, but also look at the broader perspective. Also kind of resonate with the social aspects and stuff like that, because I think there are a lot of parallels how it should be incorporated different things in our models and how can we do that actually.
That's true, yes, absolutely.
Yes, so the talk from Pierluigi was very interesting to see the case study of Australia, because we talk a lot about energy transition and how it will affect the grid and the stability of the grid and the usage. And they are already experiencing that, and we can learn a lot from that, and not only be on the prospective aspect, but compared to something that's already happening somewhere.
Learners from Australia. Last year we had some talks from industries also from Denmark and Switzerland, who also showed some, I guess, what was happening right now and what they were concerned with. And this year I think it was also very interesting to have Rodrigo and Pierluigi showing us also some perspective of what was happening in other countries.
This is just overall really enjoyed like having the speakers hanging around afterwards and just doing the social activities or lunches. It felt a little different than, felt like a more interactive conference in a way. Like obviously it's different, but I really loved like the speakers, seeing them, like going out on the boats with them and everything like that. It really felt like there was a lot of connection there. So, yeah.
And even if they're terrible boat captains.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, like also that's one of the reasons why we organize this, is to meet you and get to talk to you, yeah, that's also what we get out of this. Also to talk to the speakers that we get to invite. But yeah, I think it's been very valuable for us in the years we've organized it since 2016. We've had quite a few students that we met here and that came back for external stays, or I think actually Farzani attended the summer school 1 year, one of our researchers, so yeah, it's a very good way also for us to talk to you. Yeah, so is there anything also that you wish, I guess, was there, or for future, now it's too late for this year, but in the future, are there some things you think we should have covered, or we could have covered, that would be valuable?
I think more hands-on sessions, like more practical sessions, like instead of theoretical, we heard a lot, but if we would have get the possibility to get the hands-on, so it would be like much more better.
Yeah. Yeah. Definitely, I think very right hands-on that helps a lot. Much learning makes you dig and deeper, being able to implement it. It's not always easy to do when you have so many speakers that each have only 3 hours. But I think we can do a better job at coordinating and planning to this. Yes.
To react on this, Spiros, in the end, what he did was just giving us the hands-on, and we can, if you are interested, we have time afterwards to go see the code and just play a little bit with it, without taking time on the lecture and just have a small example of working. If you are interested, we can see the code, and but we don't have to.
Yeah, I think you said you had it in the past, but maybe having one or two people from industry as well would be really interesting to get also the different perspective, because there are a lot of theoretical concepts here which might take a long time to get them, or actually might be questions if they will be ever applied in industry, so also get this perspective.
Some of you, I'm assuming, are from RTE also, and some from other industries. There's a few people coming from industry. I don't know if you're here.
I can react to that. Actually, again, I'm coming from industry, and I was surprised that it was not as theoretical as I expected. Because all of you usually have applied research. You work with companies, like for example, that I was explaining, like his case with the data for net, or like Rodrigo was helping the Chilean government, or like other Latin American countries. So even if it's has a like very theoretical component, at the end you always see, okay, but this actually can be applied. So I personally was quite surprised on that aspect.
Yeah, good to know that. There's some balance.
I love the poster presentation slash competition. I would have loved if we had like we I heard hands-on, but like a mini project where one way or another on Friday we would have like a group poster presentation or like just a 10 to 30 minute presentation of what are we doing this week, whether we learned or some application that we think, so that stuff that we can transfer over to maybe potentially a paper with 4 or 5 people in the summer school.
Yeah, that's a very interesting idea. I think actually the first year we organized it, there was some kind of small group project, and like it was just I think an elevator speech at the end of the project, and I think it was the students quite liked it. Maybe it was, I guess, heavier workload during the week, but yeah, that's a good point. That's something we could try to bring back.
Maybe to elaborate more on these test ideas, sometimes could be immersive altogether some parallel sessions with focus groups on, because in the end there's a lot of beautiful topics out there, but most of the people might be more interested in 1 or 2. But I guess that towards the end of the week you can maybe choose a focus topic, work with people on it, and yeah, that may lead to collaboration.
Okay, so some more personalized talks or more deep into some topics if you're interested. For some of the
maybe for example, I didn't know anything about quantum computing, but I think there was people here that have already in the basement that we got the other day, and maybe those people were a little dissatisfied with, actually they don't learn that much, so maybe it's possible to allow enhanced knowledge in this area.
Yeah, so good. Yeah, it can be hard also to match PhD students' backgrounds. So that's
This is minute, but the West Coast schools in the United States finished school at the end of June, so the timing of the summer school was in the middle of the semester.
Actually, okay, maybe I can get like a quick poll on that, but we usually time this with PSCC and Power Tech conferences, and this year PSCC was much earlier because of the Olympics. So we had a discussion whether or not we should decouple it, but we thought it might be easier for some people to come for both events, right? So is there like a majority of you that is going to PSCC or is going again through Europe afterwards? And I guess those that are going to PSCC, are you coming from the US or further away, or are you coming from Europe? Okay, so I guess for you it doesn't really matter if you're coming from Belgium to go directly from here to Paris or to go back to Belgium. Good to know. I never know if it actually really matters to you. But yeah, we had my also had some trouble coming here because of the semester. That's good point. Yeah. Okay. I think I can set you free for lunch and Friday bar. Does anybody want to have some final, I guess, comment or?
Thank you for the organization.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.